Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting of the Coffee County Planning Commission, May 28th, 2024, to order. And the first order of business is to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve it.
I have a motion from Randy Harrell to approve.
I second the motion.
Laura Nettle seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Way to go, Rodney. Now we will have public comments. Do we have anybody out there that wants to make any public comments? No one? No one? We'll move right along then to approval of the previous minutes.
I make a motion to approve the previous minutes.
We have a motion from Laura Nettle to approve the previous minutes. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Sammy Anderson seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We will go on to our first item of business. It is the preliminary final plat for Dixon, map 011, parcel 003.03, Spry Road. We got somebody here for that? Yeah, you got you right there. Come right here and
I believe Michael Moore was the surveyor on this one. He had to, I think y'all recommended to move the setbacks back on the front of the three lots, and that on this is showing those setbacks moved.
anything else, Kurt? If you'll notice, the staff has approved the requirements. Any discussion on this? Do I have a motion to approve this?
I make a motion to approve it.
Have a motion from Randy Harrell to approve this. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Got a second from Rodney. Any more discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank y'all for your time.
That wasn't too hard, was it?
No, I'm scared to death.
Next item of business is the preliminary final plat on Homestead Realty, map 023, parcel 017.01, Fredonia Road.
Hey, evening everyone. Nicholas Northcutt Surveying. I'm representing Homestead Realty on this property here. And basically what it is he had a tract of land here, and if you're not familiar with where it is, it's right on the corner of Fredonia and Goose Pond Road. So this would be on the, the west side of Fredonia there, just directly across from where Goose Pond tees into it. So right up here, they actually had it was like an 8 or 9 acre tract of land that they carved off and sold off, and so this was what was left. And so they were wanting to divide it into 4. There's actually also another thing. This lot right here was a silage lot that belonged to, I think it was Don Hockett's place maybe at one time. But this was the old silage pit right here. So what he did in a separate subdivision plat was he carved off this area right here and added it onto that silage lot to make it a compliant lot, because as it stood now, I don't think it had the acreage it needed, and it certainly didn't have the soil it needed. So he just did this little lot line shift right there and added it onto that already existing lot. So anyway, after all that, this is what was left, and he wanted to divide it into 4. So he had Tim Baxter go out. We found soils on everything. We've got an existing septic right there on the house. So I mean, all lots have soils and meet setback size, width requirements and everything. And so he's seeking approval on this.
Any questions? Anybody have any questions on this at all? The staff recommends approving this.
I make a motion to approve it.
Rodney Duncan makes a motion to approve this. Do I have a second?
I second.
Ms. Laura Nettles seconds. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous again, Cindy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas.
You up again?
Here again? This is a preliminary final plat for Bruce, map 021, parcel 008.05 and 008.04, Oscar Crowell Road.
Okey doke. So if, there again, Nicholas Northcutt Surveying, representing Mr. Bruce on this. So this was the corner of Oscar Crowell and Earl Warren Road. Of course, I-24 is just like right here. It's just right there next to the interstate. So this is pretty well downtown Beech Grove. So what he was doing on this was this property was cut up into 5-acre tracts about 3 or 4 years ago, and so Mr. Bruce wound up with a 5-acre tract here and a 5-acre tract here. Well, this was the only soil site found on this 5-acre tract, and of course there was another soil site right in here on his other piece. Well, it was either last year or maybe at the beginning of this year, he had to do some more soils work to try to be able to divide this lot, which is what he was wanting to do, is just get this divided into 4. Well, so there was no soils on this, and so what he had to do is cut the back, third off of this 5-acre piece and add it to this piece. So we had gone through that process early. It was, like I said, it's either end of last year or beginning of this year. We did that where we added the rear to that piece on the east here, and so now we're coming in dividing it into 4. So he's barely got a soil site on that, and he's got soils on this, and then this was the original soil site. So there again, all the lots are meeting size, width, acreage requirements, and all have good soil sites and access to water.
Okay. Anything else?
I hope not.
Where is the telephone building?
It's right. That's it, right
Okay,
there.
so this is before the telephone building.
And there was a deal where War Trace Water showed there being a water line going through here and on Earl Warren Road. And so we chopped everything up like, yep, everybody's got water. And then when the first person that had their tract, it was this guy right here, they went to go get their water tap, and they were like, well, we don't have any water on there. And it's like, well, anyway, so that was kind of a big kerfuffle there. And so that's why this easement is right here, is because to provide water to this piece and the last piece that was over here, we had to come off of the water line that was on Oscar Crowell and come down a 30-foot utility easement that we had to put there to get water service for everybody. So, but anyway, all these have water. There's water along Oscar Crowell Road.
Who's providing, is that War Trace?
Yeah, it's
That's
War
War
Trace.
Trace.
Is the 30 feet their requirement? The easement?
I don't know. They took it. I mean, they've run a water line down it. So
Just for utilities.
I think we made it 30 because there was going to be 2 lines in it, and we wanted there to be 10 feet in between the lines and the easement and everything. So, yeah. So
Any more questions? Staff recommends approving this. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Randy Harrell makes a motion to approve. Need a second.
I'll second it.
Rodney Duncan seconds.
Do you have anything to, update us on from that one, Nicholas?
We never got anything back from Charbonneau. We never heard anything back from Mr. Blatter on that, so I guess it's gonna have to be deferred.
Well, I told him to call me if he wanted deferred, if he wanted to leave it on, he didn't really call back, so I guess we.
Well, he didn't call us either, so,
Is this a separate issue? Is this a separate issue from,
Mm-hmm.
That's the bladder, that's the. We need to
okay,
vote
but
on
we
the
ain't voted on
one.
this one yet, okay? I have a motion, any more discussion, and I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
thank y'all.
All right, this is one that Kurt and I talked about before the meeting. We don't have anything on this, correct?
Well, we do, we don't have, he was supposed to call me back, I told him if he would at least get with Alan Charbonneau and send me an email, that Alan would look at this and it was something that would work and could prove, to let me know.
But he-
Called me back by 12 and I've not heard from him. So I said, well, if you call me back and let me know that, then we'll defer it, but if you don't call me back, then we'll just go ahead and send it through, but you're gonna have to pay it. So he didn't call back, so.
So you're telling me what we want to do is go ahead and bring this up?
Well, it don't have TDEC approval at this time, and I don't know if it's gonna get TDEC approval. Like I say, he didn't call me back, I told him to call Charbonneau and let me know.
So where we're at on this is, we had sent this off to Charbonneau a few weeks ago. And Andy Gallagher's the one that's done the soils. On lot 1, there is an existing septic area and everything on that. So lot 1 was good, but on 2 and 3, Andy Gallagher was the one that did the soils on that, and he said there should be plenty enough room for 3-bedroom approval on those. And we really would have thought that we would have heard back from Charbonneau by now on this, but he must be backed up or something, but I would imagine we'll probably get something back from him tomorrow or the next day, just enough for us to have to wait another month. But Charbonneau does have it, and all those fees have been paid, and we were, expecting to get that back any day now. But anyway, we never heard from Mr. Blatter or Charbonneau, so I just wonder if maybe he's on vacation or something like that. But anyway, everything's been submitted and paid for and all that, and we're just waiting to get those hard copies back from him.
I think we need to defer this till next month.
I'd like to make a motion to approve pending TDEC.
I thought we said we
We've
weren't.
done that before.
We have, but I thought we said we weren't gonna do it anymore.
And the reason,
And the reason is it's a lot of work for our staff to go through all this stuff and get it done, and then somebody say, well, I'm gonna be here to do this, and they don't show up. I mean, they've had a while to do this, I just
I
don't.
don't think it's their fault.
Well-
It's Tennessee TDEC's fault, not.
Well, it is
Correct.
TDEC's fault.
It's gotta have TDEC, a plat like this has to
I
have
understand that.
TDEC signature, for approval.
I understand
Without,
that.
you could approve it all along, without TDEC, it can't be.
I understand that.
Dennis has a motion on the table that we approve this plat pending TDEC approval. Do I have a second? I don't have a second, Dennis.
Motion fails.
So this will have to come back
Next month.
next month.
We'll bring you a signed plat.
That's what we need. Thank you, Nick,
Yeah,
and you know
thank y'all.
that. We appreciate you understanding. Thank you. Okay, the next item of business is a preliminary final plat for Low, map 066, parcel 011.03 Taylor Road. Do we have anybody here representing that? No one here? Kurt?
Look like?
Huh?
What's it look like? Oh, okay, that's pavement.
It says Taylor Road, the Low property.
Who applied? He was called, Cindy called this morning and reminded.
Jeff did?
No,
I think,
Chris Bateman,
Yeah.
he's the surveyor. She called and we did, I don't know, let him know that, call to remind him. So, I don't know where he's at.
I don't like to do that without somebody representing the plat. Anybody got any ideas, any questions?
Are they combining two lots? Is that what it is?
Now they're taking, 0.43 acres off one lot and adding it to
Another.
Odom.
yeah, it's a little block going on there.
Is that there on the left at the top, is that a right of way coming in?
No, that's part of another piece of property that goes across the back to another piece. And that line in it, it stops, that property stops. right
Is that you,
there.
Dennis?
Lightning?
Okay.
So it don't actually join.
I
It's
just
just
saw the little
Yeah, it's
cross.
just a strip that this property goes back and has a little strip back here, but it ends. See right there?
Yeah,
It's 10 feet, 10.01.
okay,
Line here.
okay, it looked like it made a right of way coming in, is really,
Yeah,
that's,
it looks like it, but it is.
I don't know, I don't know, guys, how you feel about this, but I feel like somebody needs to be here to represent these plats. I mean, we're asking questions, and we don't have anybody here to really, Kurt to answer them, and he does a really good job, but, do we want to be responsible for that without having a representation for this plat? Either the owner, the surveyor, or the engineer, or somebody. What do you guys think?
I say if the staff recommends approval, we approve it.
You want to make that motion?
I move that we approve this
I figure,
request.
I have a motion from Dennis. Do I have a second?
the staff says it's okay. I'll second it.
Got a second from Rodney. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose. All right. Down to other. A couple of things, and Rodney and I already talked about this a little bit. And we're talking about our training that we have to have before the calendar year is out. That man right there, I know, starting the middle of August, is not gonna have time to do anything. And you're telling me the end of, you're gonna be gone
I'll
till,
come back July 10th.
you come back July the 10th.
Yeah, kind of tell everybody.
Does anybody have any problem with some day, and we haven't set a date, we haven't talked to Manchester, with having training the last week of July? I mean, I'm trying to get it, you see what I'm trying to do there?
I think
Not only you, me too.
yeah.
But, if anybody's got a problem with that,
What day are you talking about?
well, not any particular day, just the last week in July.
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 Sammy's gonna be lucky
I
to
would
be
like a
through.
Monday.
And that's right, you told me that,
I
I'm
would
sorry,
like a
a
Monday.
Monday, Cindy.
In the last week of July or sometime after the 10th.
And Dennis, I feel like we ought to continue to do it like we've been doing it, if we can get Manchester to go in with
I
us.
agree.
And, but we're gonna have our girl right here, we're gonna give her a little more work. The same work Dennis did last time.
But
It's
you still
easy.
got beans to plant, don't you?
Do what?
It's easy now.
Right, and yeah, we got a template and everything. I really would like to talk about this representing these plats, just a second. I feel like, you know, Kurt could explain every one of these to us if he wanted to, okay? But that's not what it's all about. You know, if you want a plat passed before this committee, I feel like you need to be present. Either you, or your representative.
Somebody.
It's not fair to Kurt, and I'm not certain that it might have a liability issue there, with him representing something that he doesn't, if he makes a mistake, which he never does. How do y'all feel about that?
I definitely would suggest that they be here. I mean, it seems like to me if it's that important to you, you could.
Well,
take 1 hour
that's
a
my,
minute.
that's my thoughts, Rodney. If you've spent this money, you ought to be able to take an hour out of your day or 15 minutes. Of course, if you got Nick, you're gonna have 4 or 5 of them in a row, so.
But you got, like you say, I mean, you got not just one individual that could represent it. You got
Right.
others too.
That's right.
I mean, you
That's
got the
correct.
engineer, you got the surveyor, you got the owner. You know,
And I don't have a
contract
problem,
somebody.
I don't have a problem with what we did today at all. But I think we need to encourage, and we even talked about putting a sign up in the front window about you need to be here to represent it. In other words, give everybody fair warning. Any more comments about that?
Well, you also called them too, didn't you?
I call them, I tell them when they apply.
Right.
I
And
remind
so, I
them.
mean, it's, and like I said, with the sign too, but I mean, it's not like,
And let me
That
point
were a
out,
surprise
let me point out
gift.
one scenario to you, okay? Let's suppose we only have one item on the agenda,
mhm.
and nobody shows up to represent it. That's a planning commission meeting that costs the county $500 to $600 for no reason.
Mhm.
So,
They'd have to pay the fee again, for sure.
that's right, they'd have to pay the fee again. But anyway, that's just something to think about and discuss. Any other business?
I want to comment,
Okay,
if you'll let me.
yes, sir.
When I made the motion to approve this pending TDEC approval, I was, this individual owns property in my district as District 6 Commissioner. So I was doing this for my constituent. And, you know, I really would have liked to have seen it approved for them, but, if the rest of the body didn't, and obviously they didn't, it's not approved.
I wish you,
But wait a minute.
okay,
The Board of Zoning Appeals, that's definitely a different subject. When an individual wants to do something with their property that staff can't approve, they can't approve it. They have to come before us for a conditional use or a variance multiple times. If you don't show up for that conditional use or that variance, we're not gonna address it.
exactly right.
But, I just wanted to make that, differentiate between the two.
If, I will say this, if you had told us that it was in your district and you knew the folks and all that kind of stuff, it still shouldn't make a big difference, but
No, really, it shouldn't, not technically.
anything else?
Well, I agree with you. I recommend that they be told that if they need to be present, and if not, they take a chance on it not getting approved. I mean,
And they pay another fee the next
Right.
time. I mean, these folks right now, looking at my friend right there that wears more than one hat now, they might.
Some of them don't fit.
This office is understaffed, and you're very well aware of it. They're working their behinds off. Anything else? How about a motion to adjourn? Well,
Make
that
a-
made Rodney pick his head up on it.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion from Randy to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Figured Bean Man would be ready to get out of here.
We should try this one.